In recent years, Russia and Niger have strengthened their relationship in several areas, including cooperation. It has been brought to light because of the potential impact this relationship may have on both international geopolitics and regional dynamics. Russia and Niger have been working together in some fields, including defense, infrastructure development, and energy. The two nations' defense cooperation has led to an increase in joint exercises, military equipment exchanges, and military training initiatives. Enhancing Niger's security capabilities and addressing regional security concerns are the goals of this collaboration. The growing relationship between Russia and Niger has raised questions about the motives and implications of this cooperation. Some commentators argue that Russia's engagement in Niger is part of a larger strategy to increase its influence in Africa and counterbalance the influence of Western countries. Others draw attention to the strategic and financial objectives that drive this collaboration, such as access to new markets and natural resources. In a recent turn of events, Niger has received new Russian advisors and equipment. But before we continue with this, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel so you get notified whenever we upload videos like this. Niger's official television said that the Russian military had sent new advisors and equipment to the African nation, which wants the U.S. troops to go. Along with air defense systems, a first group of roughly 100 Russian advisors landed in Niger on April 10. According to reports, Russia has now deployed 3 cargo planes with military equipment and instructors in the last month. 2 other military transporters arrived on Saturday. The Africa Corps, which is thought of as the heirs to the Wagner paramilitary organization in Africa, announced the instructors' arrival in a message on the group's Telegram channel. Bear in mind that U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin indicated a week before that Russian troops were now installed at a Nigerian air base near the Niamey airport that also housed U.S. troops. In an anonymous statement, Lloyd Austin claimed that Russian personnel were using a different hangar at Airbase 101, which is close to Diori Hamani International Airport in the capital city of Niamey, Niger, rather than interacting with American soldiers. Russian military action brings American and Russian forces closer together at a time when their military and political competition over the situation in Ukraine is growing more intense. It also calls into question what would happen to American installations in the nation in the event of a pullout. Remember that the U.S. and its allies were obliged to remove their troops from many African countries after coups that attracted rebels eager to overthrow Western rulers. Along with the anticipated withdrawal of American forces from Niger, the French military was driven out of Mali and Burkina Faso. Meanwhile, U.S. troops recently left Chad. At the same time, Russia is attempting to reinforce its ties with African countries by portraying itself as a friendlier nation with no colonial past in the region. For instance, Mali has emerged as one of Russia's closest African friends in recent years, thanks to the deployment of the Wagner Group mercenary force there to combat jihadist insurgents. Russia has said that ties with the United States are below zero due to American financial and military support for Ukraine's defense against Russian forces on the invaders' territory. Following a coup in July 2023, the military government of Niger renounced a military cooperation deal with the United States. It said that Washington had unilaterally imposed the deal. Washington consented in April to remove its approximately 1,000 soldiers from the country. Bear in mind that a 2-star U.S. general has also been sent to Niger to try and arrange a professional and responsible withdrawal. While no decisions have been taken on the future of U.S. troops in Niger, the officials said the plan was for them to return to U.S. Africa Command's home bases located in Germany. Also, note that the U.S. is still engaged with Niger and Chad, despite withdrawing troops from the countries. Dozens of U.S. soldiers departed Chad late last month after the military authorities there voiced worries about their presence in advance of the elections scheduled for May 6. The Sahel region is considered the new global epicenter of the Islamic State group. In order to help track Islamist activity in the region, the U.S. established a drone station in Agadez, central Niger, in 2016. Agadez is located 750 kilometers northeast of Niamey, the nation's capital. However, military spokesman Colonel Abderrahmane claimed in March that the U.S. was objecting to Niger's choice of friends after Niger ordered U.S. personnel to leave. Colonel Abderrahmane also blasted the U.S. for their condescending attitude and threat of reprisals, saying that the U.S. ultimate goal was to maintain diplomatic relations with countries dominated by the military. This growing relationship between Niger and Russia speaks volumes about the changing dynamics in global alliances. Note that recently, Russian President Vladimir Putin and General Abderrahmane Tchiani picked up the phone and began discussing strengthening security cooperation. Russia and Niger have decided to enhance their military relations in a number of ways. One is the possibility of arms transactions, in which Russia provides Niger with military hardware and weaponry to strengthen its armed forces. Additionally, plans exist for Russian instructors to train Nigerian soldiers to improve their combat and operational readiness. Also note that a high-level Russian delegation visited Niger, led by Colonel General Yunus Bekyevrov, the Russian Deputy Defense Minister. This visit carried significant weight and marked a crucial milestone in the deepening ties between the two nations. The presence of such a senior Russian official signaled Moscow's keen interest in strengthening its influence in Niger and the broader Sahel region. During the visit, the main topic of discussion was how to improve defense sector collaboration. An agreement to strengthen cooperation in the field of defense between Nigerian and Russian officials was signed. However, the exact contents of this protocol are still unknown and covered in secrecy. There are conjectures that the accord may facilitate amplified military assistance, cooperative training sessions, and the possible dispatch of Russian advisors or private military contractors to Niger. It is also possible that Russian private military contractors, most notably the infamous Wagner Group, will be deployed. These mercenary troops might be stationed in Niger to support counterterrorism efforts or guard Russian interests there. The two countries are discussing exchanging intelligence, enabling collaboration in areas like detecting and tracking terrorist threats. The U.S. presence and influence in Niger is most likely challenged by the entrance of Russian weapons and trainers, which are perceived as a strategic win for Russia. American authorities worry that Russian combatants and paramilitary organizations, such as the Wagner Force, would take part in political operations to obstruct U.S. efforts in Niger and push for the evacuation of U.S. troops. Ibrahim Traoré has expressed gratitude for Russia's support, saying that Putin refuses nothing when it comes to supplying arms to combat terrorism. Niger's choice to turn to Russia for support could have been influenced by things like the fact that weapons are available without the same restrictions on international law and human rights that the U.S. imposes. One clear thing is the fact that Russia is attempting to extend its influence and presence in Africa, and this includes its expanded participation in Niger. This action is perceived as a means for Russia to fortify its strategic alliances and collaborations throughout the continent. Russia's efforts to increase its influence in Africa may be seen in the entry of military trainers from Russia and the formation of paramilitary groups in Niger. Western countries are becoming concerned about Russia's increasing sway in the Sahel region due to these events. Putin's decision to arm and equip Niger has repercussions for both the U.S. and Niger. It offers Niger extra help in dealing with security issues, especially those pertaining to terrorism. It also prompts questions regarding the potential impact on U.S. counterterrorism strategy in the region, as well as the influence of foreign countries. The circumstance draws attention to how Africa's geopolitical landscape is changing and how major world countries are vying for influence. Note that Niger is also one of the world's poorest countries, and its army is mired in conflict with armed groups despite more than a decade of U.S. presence. For the military leaders, the arrival of Russia heralds the start of a new era of potentially more fruitful, and possibly more egalitarian, relations with foreign nations. It appears that locals agree. The youth and disaffected still support them, even if the military leaders' difficult decisions are making their lives more difficult due to regional sanctions and aid reductions implemented following the coup last year. There are important ramifications, as we mentioned before, for both Niger and the U.S. from Putin's recent decision to arm the country more. These arms import raises worries for Niger about the possible intensification of internal unrest and regional tensions. Although Niger has experienced security issues in the past, the introduction of more weapons could heighten tensions and spark violent clashes. Niger's growing militarization could obstruct attempts at national development and peaceful resolution. Their advancement and socioeconomic development may be hampered by the redirection of resources from vital areas like infrastructure, healthcare, and education to military projects. The decision by Putin to supply Niger with additional weaponry has the United States concerned about the geopolitical ramifications in the area. This action might be seen by the U.S. as a direct challenge to its interests and power, which would increase rivalry and possibly cause tensions between the two superpowers. The stability of the surrounding area and the distribution of power in Africa may be significantly impacted by this. Given these developments, Niger and the U.S. must work together to address any possible threats posed by the increased flow of weaponry through open communication and cooperation. To lessen the effects and promote a stable and safe environment for Niger and the larger region, diplomatic initiatives, regional alliances, and enhanced security cooperation will be crucial. Do you think that at this point, the United States has lost all hope in Niger? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel. Turn on notifications too so you get notified whenever we upload videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.